Okay, so we all know the AI boom is here, right? It's transforming pretty much everything. But there is a hidden cost to all this progress, a battle that's raging behind the scenes over power, resources, and, well, control. Let's dig into the real price of this AI revolution. So, when we talk about this incredible power that AI has, who's actually footing the bill? The answer is way more complicated than you might think, and it actually starts a lot closer to home than you'd expect. And this isn't some niche issue, it has gone all the way to the top. This quote from Donald Trump really zeroes in on the main worry here, that the massive, and I mean massive, energy appetite of AI data centers is going to make electricity bills go up for the rest of us. So to really get a handle on this, we're going to break it down into three key arenas, three battlegrounds, if you will: the local, the global, and the financial. All right, first up, the local battleground. We're starting at the community level because these huge data centers that are the engines of AI, well, they're creating some serious friction with local communities. It mostly boils down to the incredible strain they put on the power grid and the fear of higher utility bills. And this really gets to the core of the political headache for these tech companies. It's not just about the exact number of megawatts they're using, it's the feeling, the perception that big tech's incredible progress is coming directly out of the public's pocket. That's what's really driving this pushback. So, with all this pressure building up, the tech giants are realizing they have to change their strategy. Microsoft, for instance, is rolling out a whole new playbook to try and get out in front of this. They're calling it Community First AI Infrastructure. Basically, it's a simple idea. They're trying to create a framework to tackle all these local concerns directly, to make sure their data centers are seen as good neighbors, not just giant power-hungry boxes. And this isn't just some PR fluff. The plan is really comprehensive. We're talking about more than just paying for their own electricity. They're addressing water use, promising local jobs, adding to the tax base for things like schools and hospitals, and even investing back into the community. It's a real attempt to redefine what it means to be a good corporate citizen in this new age of AI. Okay, so now let's zoom out from the local neighborhood to the global stage, where the fight for AI dominance is turning into a full-blown geopolitical showdown. And this fight isn't just about software. It's about the physical hardware that makes it all possible. Right at the heart of this whole thing are these super advanced semiconductor chips, the brains of any AI system. So controlling the supply of components like Nvidia's incredibly powerful H200 chip, that has become a major point of conflict between the world's biggest economies. And what we have now is basically a high-stakes game of chess. The US says, okay, we'll let you buy these advanced chips, but with some very strict rules. And in response, China is telling its own tech companies, hey, don't buy those chips unless you absolutely have to. It's kind of like a soft blockade. Yeah, the US isn't just handing these over. Any approval comes with a lot of strings attached. We're talking third-party inspections, limits on how many they can buy, major security checks, and a hard ban on any military use. It's very much a policy of controlled access, not some open market. So why would Beijing block access to chips they clearly need? Well, most analysts see it as a strategic power play. By showing they can get by without these specific US chips, Beijing is basically testing American resolve and trying to build up leverage for bigger trade and tech talks down the road. And that brings us to our third and final battleground, the financial one. The sheer amount of money, the price of progress here, is just staggering. The capital you need just to be a player in the AI game is almost hard to wrap your head around. Just to put this in perspective, take a company like Cerebras. It's an AI chip startup. Right now, they're trying to raise $1 billion in a single funding round. That number alone tells you everything you need to know about the financial wall you have to climb to even get in the game. And of course, that kind of investment sends valuations into the stratosphere. This one funding round could value Cerebras at $22 billion. That's almost triple what it was valued at before. It just shows you how wild the investor optimism is and how valuable it is to own even a small piece of the AI hardware puzzle. But it's not just hardware. Acquiring specialized data and top talent also costs a fortune. Get this, OpenAI just bought a tiny health tech startup called Torch for what's reported to be $100 million in stock. Torch had only 4 employees. 4. So what made this tiny company worth so much? Well, its platform is basically a unified medical memory for AI. It takes all that messy, complicated medical data, labs, notes, prescriptions, and organizes it into a neat, structured format that an AI can actually understand and use. This gives a giant like OpenAI a huge leg up in the incredibly valuable healthcare market. So, when you pull back and connect all these dots, the bigger picture is crystal clear. The AI revolution isn't just happening in lines of code on a screen. It's a real conflict, being fought on multiple fronts, in our local communities over power, between entire nations over silicon chips, and on the world's capital markets for billions of dollars. These interconnected battlegrounds, local, global, and financial, are the forces shaping the future of AI. As these hidden costs come into focus, they reveal the central challenge of this new era. Progress has a price, and the debate over who should be responsible for paying it has really only just begun.